Hey there, welcome. I know it's early on. There's not a whole lot of people out there watching at the moment. Just wanted to mention it's a little bit of a different evening tonight. We're doing some personal work in the observatory, but I figured if you want to watch, you can watch. And I also am hosting another astronomer here tonight, so we're working together on other things outside as well with other camera systems. So we may be in and out during the course of the night. But at least you'll have something to check out and look at. Okay, I've been imaging the Veil Nebula again because it's really quite beautiful. And there's actually more to it. You can see we saw this yesterday and we saw this down here tonight. And we see this part and this part. The ancient supernova remnant right here. Moving outward. It probably happened between 5 and 15,000 years ago. It's hard to pin these down in age. Hey there, Brian. Thanks for joining. Good to see you here. As I said, we're kind of doing some personal work in the observatory tonight, so we're not actually going to be doing a specific tour for folks, but I will be looking. Hey, Maddie. I will be looking at the chat now and then, and we'll take your questions and so forth if you have any. I do have. Hey, watcher, watch Show TV. Very cool. Nice to see you. That's Maddie's been here before, but Brian, I don't remember you, and Watch, I don't remember. Hey, Justin. Hey, and then we have Keith from P&K Space Imaging. And Andy Morrow. Hey, guys. Check it out. The Veil Nebula. Look at that. It's full extent. We have the central veil, we have the eastern veil, and we have the western veil, and you can see it goes down here. It's pretty cool. I'm going to actually raise the telescope up just a little bit because I want to see if we can catch a little bit more of that western veil. So we're going to come up to about here. All right, and that's where we're going to stop it and see what we can get from there. That's actually a pretty good spot. I'm as I was saying, I'm hosting another astronomer here tonight, and so we're going back and forth out on the observatory lawn here and working together on a different project. We're using a star tracker to try and get images of the stars on large cameras with massive telephoto lenses, and so that's kind of the thing that we're doing tonight. But I figured if you guys want to watch us work in the observatory like this is cool. I may be in and out of the building, as you can see over here, but I'm not sure I'm gonna. Hey, Dagger Spells, what's going on? Thank you for coming along. We're looking at the veil again. Look at this. You can see the extent of the veil here. You can imagine this gigantic circular object blew up somewhere here. It was a star at one point. And this material was blown out. This material might be farther away from us, heading in a different direction into the page, so to speak. But these two spots here are probably symmetrically distant from the central spot from which it originated. Although the interstellar medium can slow this stuff down. And this has been slowed down a little bit. You can tell by the density and brightness, actually. And then over here, this has been slowed down a little bit, but relatively unimpeded as it moves outward here. Oh, Brian, that's right. I think we did meet in Arkansas, didn't we? You and I, right? Hi, Stacy. Andy, why do you say boo? Because it's Halloween? It's not even Halloween. Yeah, so this is the extent of the veil. It's really, really pretty. And I really enjoy looking at this Veil Nebula. It's gorgeous. I actually put up on SkyTour LiveStream a bunch of photos that were taken here in the last few nights, especially the wide-angle ones like this. The processed view of this is just beautiful. And I'm doing another one. Gosh, sorry. Hello, Marianne. I'm happy to be here. Rocket Man, Joanna W., thanks for joining us. Daisy and Zoe, good to see you. Come back to say hi. We're imaging the Veil Nebula. We're using more advanced settings tonight. And as I mentioned, we're doing 30 seconds at 16,000 ISO sensitivity. I'm hosting another astronomer here tonight. He's actually outside working with a camera, what's called a Sky Guider Pro, and he's actually working with a very large camera with a massive telephoto and trying to acquire additional data, which is really cool. And so hopefully he's pretty self-sufficient, trust me, but if he may come in from time to time, or I may go out to check on what's going on, because I'm really interested to see how it turns out. Because we're doing a challenge together with the Veil here. This is actually a particularly nice shot. Look at that. You can see this is just beautiful. Wow. Jeez. As I've told you before, I've never seen the Veil in its entirety, and now I have. And this is just remarkable. It's just a tremendously beautiful image, you know. And I'm actually doing 30 seconds at 16,000. Well, thanks, Andy, for posting that link. Hi, Katie Q. So good to see you here. And I'm actually I'm working at trying to take pictures a little bit more sensitivity, so I can get a little bit more detail out of it. And the latest picture will overlay once it comes in, so you'll end up seeing it overlay. And you'll notice that it comes in noisy, okay, like this, and then you see the noise over here being abated by our noise reduction algorithm. There's a lot going on behind the scenes, which I really don't explain too much, but not because I don't want you to know about it, but just because I've just never explained it. But in the background, guys, what I'm doing is I'm actually, of course, acquiring the image. Then I'm applying a noise reduction algorithm, which you see. And then the image is selectively or instantaneously sharpened and or image processed just a little bit. So for instance, I could take, for instance, this photo right here, and I could add a little bit of extra to it. So instance, for instance, I can tell you what I'm going to do. Let me just do this. All right, so we have the image here. Okay, and let me pull it down a little bit, and so we see the image. What we can do now is we can actually go in and add some filtering that will allow us to capture a little bit more image data. In other words, allow us to process a little bit instantly to get a better view of it. Okay, and don't worry about the color. That color I actually get rid of when I reprocess. But sometimes changing the palette color actually helps you see the details better. Like right there is actually a pretty interesting level of detail, although false color. This is a false color image, but if we want to go to realistic color, we're going to be closer to this right here. And you don't really see the color so much, you know. This is like the normal view, and this is kind of where you see the color. But honestly, when we look at this, we see this red, we see this green, we see red and green mixed in here, and we see this filamentary structure over here. Hey, Shep, how you doing? I'm glad you made it tonight. I know that you couldn't make it last night and you felt bad about it, but you know what? I'm really glad you're here now. I'm going to take another picture. I'm taking a bunch of these because we're going to be combining them later and doing some processing. There's our new image of the telescope in the dome, which I can actually move around, and I can actually put it here so you can actually see the entire dome. And it doesn't matter how much of this it overtakes, because of the fact that, you know, frankly, when we actually look at this screen is only for finding the object in a very basic manner. But it's this next screen, the screen that comes up that isn't live, this one, which actually shows us the object that we just took a picture of. Gosh, it's really, really beautiful. And it's a gorgeous night, by the way. It's just another beautiful night. So happy about that. But this is almost directly overhead right now. And just so you get an idea, the distance from here to here is about 3 degrees. 3 full degrees in the sky. This is a large object. The moon is only half a degree. So you can add up how many full moons across this is. Okay. The moon's half a degree. Okay. So you get like 6 moons across here. So that's how big it is in the sky. It's a very large object. And it's actually relatively close. The distance used to be thought of as being several tens of thousands of light years or 15,000 light years away. But now it's more like approximately 1,500 to 2,500 light years away, which would account for its large size as we see it. The Crab Nebula is a supernova remnant as well, and the Crab is much, much smaller in the sky. And so as a result, when we look at the Crab, I'll actually be able to show you just about how big the Crab is relative to this. Oh, look. This is the magic of live observatory viewing. We have a satellite that went through the field right here. Zoom. Okay. So the Crab Nebula is about this big. Okay. Actually, it's smaller. It's about like this big in the sky. I'm using the wide field instrument tonight. But again, for those just joining, this is indeed hey, gas mask. This is indeed the Veil Nebula once again. This is the Western Veil. All right, because west is that way, and this is the Eastern Veil because east is that way. And we're looking at the Central Veil here. So imagine this as a big circular area with some stuff coming toward us, some stuff going away from us. Maybe this is coming toward us or going away from us. I'd have to see. And then the supernova, the star that caused it, is somewhere in the middle here. I should say the remains of the star. And actually, I don't know because I haven't looked. Actually, I feel kind of embarrassed. I don't know this. I'm not sure whether the Veil supernova remnant, if they have identified a neutron star at the center or some kind of pulsar. I should know this, and I'm sort of embarrassed that I don't. I guess, but I'm not afraid to admit what I don't know. See, so because I know that somebody out there will be able to look that up and figure it out. Hello, David Schmidt, and hey, Daryl. Daryl, I was just saying I've got another astronomer here tonight, so I'm not. I'm just doing the stream tonight myself because I won't be around to chat as much. And the other astronomer, his name's Kevin. He's actually out on the front lawn of the observatory here with a SkyGuider Pro, and he's trying to utilize that with one of his big Nikon cameras. He's actually a professional photographer as well, and he's producing some really, really nice images. And so he's trying to perfect the SkyGuider, and he came here so that I could help him do that. And I'm telling him a few cool things, and like I said, he is really quite something. Yes, Daryl, that's true. I mentioned that this is the witch's broom before. That's what it's colloquially known as. And that's right. It's a very cool location. But notice we see the rest now, Daryl. See the rest down here? Look at that, huh? It goes all the way down here. When we take pictures with a big instrument, we only see this much of it. Or if we look at the Eastern Veil, we only see about this much of it. Now we see, this is 3 degrees across right here. Just about 3 degrees. So 6 full moons across. I mean, that ain't hay. That's pretty cool, And I'm taking a bunch of these because I said to folks that tonight I'm doing personal research in the observatory, but I figured why not come along for the ride if you want to. I'm here to talk to you, and if you want to see some things, I could certainly take a break and show you something else if you're interested, if you want to see it. And I will probably be out on the lawn next to the observatory working with Kevin a little bit too, so I'm not going to be in the whole time, but I'll turn up the music and do it that way. So I'm waiting for the next opportunity here, next photo. Here it goes. That's beautiful. Yeah, and I took time to check out this location and make sure that I can get the focus correct. And it looks like it's not bad. And I am doing it at 16,000 ISO, so if I zoom all the way in, you'll see some noise. But you know what? I'm going to get rid of that noise later, because I always do. Yeah. So here's the witch's broom, as Daryl told you. And this is the central veil right here. It's actually a much fainter location. There's more here. And then we have the eastern veil, which is very famous here. The witch's broom is the most famous only because of the fact that it's the brightest part. You can see that it's denser and brighter. Really cool. Hey there, Carolina Sky. How you doing? Thanks for coming along. Hey, and Salt City, I mean, how you doing? I'm glad you came up to see us. And you guys, if you're not members, please go ahead and subscribe, you know. Do subscribe and hit the bell, get notified when we're going to go live again. Because, we do this every day, man. We do this as much as we can. And we're moving this observatory to, it's going to be central western Arizona, west of Phoenix by like 50 miles. And we're going to be out in the middle of the Sonoran Desert, actually. And we have internet out there. We have some good upload speeds. And it's a location graciously afforded us by a friend of mine who is actually a former Lawrence Livermore laboratory scientist. So he's actually been very kind to allow us a space out there, which is really, really cool. Very nice. And I wanted to show something to you as well, guys. This was, some of you saw it before. Let me see where it is. We were doing one exposure. Here it is. We did an exposure, and you can see right here the faint line of a satellite going through the field. Really cool. And it's very faint. Hey, look, I know satellites can ruin pictures, but you know what? To me, I think they're just cool. Brian, Western Veil is here. Is that what you're talking about? This is the Eastern Veil. You're saying the Western Veil looks like a face? That's interesting. Hey there, Ronald. How are you? Yeah, so now we're going to just go here and do this. Pull this out again. And for those wondering where we are, I'll just show you right where we are in the sky. I have time because Kevin, the other astronomer, is out on the front lawn working with his Sky Guider Pro, and I figured I'll come in to say hi to you guys and stream, because I was in the observatory working on a few things. We're actually looking almost straight up right now, and we can see Deneb, this star right here, which is the brightest star in the constellation of Cygnus the Swan, and this is the swan right here. The tail of the swan is actually Deneb, which means tail, as Daryl has pointed out. And this star right here is the eye of the swan. It's called Alburio. It's actually a beautiful orange and blue double star. Really, really pretty. And just off of this is the Northern Cross, by the way, which is a pattern of stars within Cygnus the Swan. And this pattern of stars that we see here has a whole bunch of objects in it. And right down here where it says scope, this is where the veil is located. And the veil, as I said, is almost 3 degrees across. And this is the witch's head here, and this is the eastern veil here. Okay, the central veil is right here, which we're seeing. We're not catching too much of this stuff, but guess what? We're seeing the rest of this whole part of the witch's broom, which is one thing that we have not seen, and I've never seen ever until tonight. So I'm learning a whole bunch of new stuff and seeing a whole bunch of new stuff. So that's where we are. And I want to just mention to you, that Deneb Vega in the constellation of Lyra the Harp, which you can see here. Okay, Lyra's the Harp. And that little green thing right there, that's the Ring Nebula in Lyra. Okay. Deneb Vega, that star there, and this star here, Altair. Those three stars constitute the summer triangle. Okay, so we have Deneb, Vega, and Altair. The interesting thing is that all three stars are type A's. That is, when Amanda talks, you understand. She says OBAFGKM. Well, the OBAFGKM is in order of hottest and bluest to reddest and coolest. All right, and these three stars are all A-type stars. Deneb is an A, Vega's an A, and Altair's an A. But Deneb is a giant. It's a very, very large, very giant star. And let's see how my image came out here. Let's check that out. Oh yeah, looks really pretty. I like this. So I'm going to start that up again, take another one, and continue to talk to you about these other things. So, and then back in our planetarium program, we're again within Cygnus over here, the Swan, and we're looking at off this wing of the Swan. We're right here inside that red square, and that's where we're looking. We're looking at the Veil Nebula right here. All right, and what you see here is not what you see in the telescope. You know, as we showed, we have a little more. There's a little more clarity and detail because the photos in Stellarium aren't really the best. And I can just kick off another exposure because I'm going to be going through these things and showing them to you after processing them again. And this will be really pretty to process because now we're going to have full, a full set of data on these. Okay, so let's go back to here. So that makes the summer triangle: Deneb, Vega, and Altair right here. And if we just eliminate all the clutter and show you just stars, then you can see Deneb, Vega, and Altair, and they form the summer triangle. I told you Deneb is the swan. I'm sorry, Cygnus is the swan, with Deneb being the tail. Vega is the harp, with the top of the harp being where Vega is. And then we have Altair, the eagle, as you can see here. But right down below Cygnus the swan and above Altair, or Aquila the eagle, we have this little guy. This is Vulpecula. And Vulpecula is a really interesting constellation because it has something really interesting in it that we like, and that's called the Dumbbell Nebula. And so the Dumbbell Nebula is just a beautiful little nebula that we've seen a few times. And we won't be looking at it right away tonight. I will probably look at it a little bit later because I think it makes sense to show that. It's really beautiful. But first, I have to take care of doing the work we're doing here tonight. I have to take care of acquiring some imagery that we need to process, and we're going to be doing that for a little longer. Okay, so now, because what we're doing is this. We're actually going to take this, and we're going to be doing a comparison to what Kevin's doing, and he's the other astronomer out on the front lawn right now near the observatory who's imaging the night sky using a guider that's going to give him a similar field of view, but he should be using a very nice lens, and we're going to see what he gets for a result. I suspect he'll get a very good result too, because we're getting very good results, and he's got equipment that is at least indeed equal to what we have for sure, because he's a very high-end photographer. Okay, so back to our planetarium. So yes, so this is a fun night sky tonight. We're probably not going to look down into the southern area here. We've looked at Jupiter personally before, and that was just to get some required focus because we're doing the wide field again tonight. And that's kind of interesting, doing the wide field. But we're actually trying to image the veil and only the veil tonight, if we can help it. But you know me, I can't really help it. I have to look at other things because, you guys want to see other things. I want to see other things too. I get bored. What can I say? I see David Schmidt. Well, I could suggest that we could actually maybe look at some asteroids for your class and show them the reality of what asteroids really look like in the night sky and where they're located, how they're little tiny points of light. But over in the night, you can actually watch them moving, especially some of the ones closer. So that would be pretty cool if you want to do that. No, just don't use any material that helps those weeds grow there, David, because then they're going to be taller than you and demand the car every single day. That's beautiful. I'm glad that your kids are growing like weeds. It beats the alternative. Okay, so western veil here, known as the witch's broom, as Daryl had pointed out, and then the eastern veil here. Look at it's such complexity. There's such complexity in this area. You see tremendous complexity in this area, all the filamentary structure. When it left the star, it was a fairly cohesive shell that was blown off the star. Maybe there were some areas that weren't quite, homogeneous and blown off different ways. But you know what? For the most part, it was pretty clean. But when you look at how this material gets expelled from the star, it's not expelling into nothing. It's expelling into an interstellar medium that's full of stuff. Full of stuff. The interstellar medium is full of other molecules, of other gas, other dust. And so when this explosive packet of material rushing out from this blown up star reaches it, it gets held back when it reaches a dense area. That could account for this little bend here. All right. So this was held back a little bit, and this was starting to be held back a little bit, and this kept going. And yes, for a moment you can see the proper colors coming through just before the noise reduction is applied. It's not lost. It's still there. But let me tell you, this is really good. This is going to be one of the better photographs of the large veil. Oh, David, I'm glad she's studying Taekwondo. I did Taekwondo for many years. Got really beat up. Got to beat up some folks, in terms of the class. And I used to look at the Zen side of Taekwondo a lot too. I used it for meditation and so forth. And so I think I did round out my Taekwondo education pretty well. I always tested, positively the first time I tried. I didn't have to retest. It was really cool. I had good senseis throughout my career in Taekwondo. And it's really good for you, man. It's really good for you. Well, I don't know how living in Bangkok's not conducive to staying in shape. Couldn't you drive around one of those little, what are they called, those three-wheeled little things? You had the bicycles, right? You get some of those bicycles. You can drive one of those around. That'd be fun. course, you might look like a tourist, David, but, you know, that's probably not a bad thing. Okay, let's do this again. Hey there, Neutrino. Oh, inside crescent kick. Yeah, you want to pick the hard one, huh? Yeah. Yeah, if you do Taekwondo without the meditation side, you're missing, literally almost missing the entire point of Taekwondo. You know, Taekwondo essentially means hands and feet, right? And as opposed to Kempo and other forms of karate, my son is in law school and he does jiu-jitsu. In fact, he's there now. It's 9:30 here in Connecticut, and he'll be home around 10:30, 11 o'clock from jiu-jitsu. And he goes to law school during the day and sometimes well into the evening, and then goes to jiu-jitsu afterwards. Did you ever have a jiu-jitsu lawyer? That'd be kind of fun. I think it'd be kind of funny to see what he can do with that. I've watched them on TV. They do these, they broadcast some of the matches. He doesn't do bad. He doesn't do bad. Katie, you're funny. I don't need to kick anybody's ass. If anything I learned from Taekwondo, it's how to get away from fighting. I had an incident where I was walking out of Taekwondo. I must have had maybe two lessons. Two classes, I should say, in the dojo. And when I was walking back to my car in Hartford, Connecticut, and I went there after work. So I worked in Hartford, then I'd walk over to the dojo, do Taekwondo. And when I would do Taekwondo, you know, I would wrap up my gi and seal it up with my belt. You know, and all I had was a white belt. And I was given the white belt and then told, you know, you're getting the white belt, but you haven't earned that yet either. You haven't even earned that. You're just getting it to hold your gi together so that you can work out properly. So I didn't even feel I had earned that belt yet, and I was very much a stickler to tradition and honor. And so I'm walking down the street, and this guy comes up who was a mugger, actually. And he said to me, "Hey, can you come help me out? My car's right around the corner there by that building." And it's an old line, which I had recognized. I knew it. And I said, "Oh, no, thanks. I gotta go." And he says, No, come on. You gotta come help me. My car's just on the other side there." He was asking me to say, "Can you please come over here so I can mug you?" Well, anyway, I turned toward him to say, No, I'm really gotta go. But instead, what happened was my white belt fell out of the gi and landed on the ground. And of course, I was concerned it was going to get dirty, so I quickly grabbed it and put it back up and tucked it into my gi. And he looked up and he looks at me and goes, "Oh, you know what? Never mind, man. Never mind. I'll find someone else." I go, "No, wait. Maybe I can help you." No. It's okay. And he just disappeared. So it's almost like he gave me more credit, I think, than I had earned by that point. Because I didn't know anything. I had just had one or two, classes, and the classes were about 4 hours long. And but what's that mean? 8 hours of Taekwondo and you can get out of a fight? No way. You're just learning your own limitations there. You're learning about all the things that break. Okay, 5-finger death crunch. So I thought that was kind of funny that he did that. The guy runs away. And I told people that story, and they said, "Oh, well, they must have known you could kick his ass." I went, "But I can't. I can't. I can't kick his butt. Who am I? I don't have any special skills at this point. I'm learning. I'm learning a way of life is what I'm learning. I wasn't learning a sport. I wasn't learning karate. I was learning a way of life. It's a new way to carry yourself." Well, David says, "Well, I'd rather have a 45. Yeah, well, sure. You're well and good having a 45 until you pull it out and use it. Okay, then you may have saved your own life, but then the law makes you feel like you had no right to save your own life. because they'll find a million reasons why you didn't have to use it. You know, yeah, Daryl's got an arsenal. You know, Daryl's got an arsenal. Okay, let's do this. I'm doing a lot of photos, guys, because I'm going to redo this entire photo scene. We're also going to go back to, hey, Tim F. Well, I don't know how I spoil you, Tim, because of the fact that I'm looking at the same darn object all night so far. You know, the Veil supernova remnant. So I'm not really spoiling you, per se. I am going to go out and check on Kevin, see what's going on the next to the observatory outside, because he's testing a Sky Guider Pro system, and I want to see what kind of results he's getting. It's going to be pretty cool to see that. But I almost can't drag myself away. I wish I could robotically tell this thing and just keep taking picture after picture after picture. There might be a way. Ooh, I have to think about that. So, well, we'll think about that. Anyway, a little bit later in the stream tonight, what I'm going to do, and we're going to go here to show you, is we're going to head back up here to the North America Nebula. It's not North American Nebula. Okay, it doesn't have citizenship. It's the North America Nebula because of the shape. It looks like the Gulf of Mexico, Florida, North America. And this here is called the Pelican. And in last night's SkyTour LiveStream, we actually were able to acquire the Pelican quite nicely, as well as the North America. Yeah, but we're going to use larger and longer exposures tonight, because I think this supports it. So yeah, so that's beautiful. I have quite a number of these already, so I think we're looking at a pretty good number. Yeah, I'm gonna take a few more, and then I'm gonna go outside and check on Kevin. Hopefully a bear didn't get him. Jeez, that would really be a problem. I was streaming, officer. I didn't see the bear, start eating his camera, followed by him. Yeah, that's bad. Yeah, so we had this little satellite come zipping through as well in this other shot. And you can see there's some nuggets here. You can see some real nuggets of nebulous nature that do show up from time to time when the seeing becomes a little more perfect. But look at that, huh? That's just stunning. So beautiful. Here's the latest shot coming in. You can tell by the noise reduction algorithms being set off there. So now I can go start another one. Yeah, it's like, it's not OCD, but it's like, okay, just one more, just one more, just one more. And Amanda makes fun of me. Oh, dagger spells. My phone's at 4%. Oh, trust me, I know what that's like. In fact, speaking of that, what's my phone at? Okay, my phone has definitely got to be plugged in. Yeah, okay. Now my phone's plugged in. Boy, this is... You know what? I just don't know what to say. I can't even... I mean, I've never imagined I'd be able to image this here. Never mind what I can expect when I actually get this system to Arizona. Wow. I'm going to be probably blown away. Probably be blown away by this. I do not know. It's probably going to be tremendously good. Huh. Okay, I'm just doing a little alteration to the image here. There we go. Maximize the amount we can see. And let's do a little bit more here. Meanwhile, the image is done. Let's go into my filters and go do this. What's the matter, Daisy and Zoe? Not sure whether I'm talking to Daisy or Zoe. There we go. And then the right side I'll do as well. Maybe not. Okay. So there we go. That is where it is. There we go. Okay, this is pretty good. Pretty good, pretty good. Nice. Okay, so back to matters at hand. More obsessive compulsive pressing the button. Okay, dome is doing well. There's the telescope. Everything looks good. I may just increase the gain here a little bit. I just want to see a little more in there. Okay. All right, so now I've brightened up the interior infrared image a little bit. Okay. Okay, and we'll be looking here. Here comes this. Oh man, I can't get. I just simply can't get enough of this. You'll notice there's another piece of nebulous detail here that we didn't really see last night. This we didn't see last night because the image was actually starting about here, and we should have started it a little lower. We did tonight, and the central veil is right there. There's all kinds of diffuse nebula in here from this supernova explosion, you know. Hey, Tammy, how's it going? Tammy Sublet, welcome to the SkyTour LiveStream. Thank you for coming along. You know, you guys are amazing, by the way. I really want to thank you for making it worth it for me to do this, because I really enjoyed what you guys do for me and what you show to me and the questions you ask. You show me a lot of good love, guys, and I totally appreciate it. I hope you can see that by how I treat you in return. By the way, if you're interested, make sure you go to SkyTour LiveStream with Mark D'Antonio on Facebook and check out the previous night's photos that I put up there already. I showed you what the photos are. And if you want the raw photos, let me know. And I will be happy to get them to you. I'll make sure they're uploaded. I don't have them uploaded now because they're big. But if you want to use the raw photos to try and do image processing yourself, if you're good at that, if you're interested in trying it, let me know. I'll do it for you. I'll put them up for you. Okay? And none of this costs you anything. I don't want anyone to pay for what I do. I don't need that. You know? I don't need that at all. Okay, let me just... There we go. Okay, that's better. Yeah, see, now we're getting there. Okay, so I wanted to give you a maximum size on the screen here because this is just too good. Yeah, Justin, it's a nice sky tonight. It really is a nice sky, and I'm really enjoying it. Hey, Daniel. Well, thanks, Daniel. I believe that science is accessible to anyone as long as it's explained in a way that is easy for them to understand. And that doesn't mean that people are less intelligent. It just means that they may not have the math background and the science background to understand all the complexity of like what this is and what happened. So I try to explain things in a way that people can understand, and then they can certainly take that and run with it or ask questions that are beyond the introductory stuff I tell them. I'm happy for that. I'm not afraid of questions. I'm not afraid to be put on the spot. In fact, when I do interviews and when I do television shows, I never want the questions ahead of time because I don't want it to sound like I thought about the answer. Because if I don't know the material in my head walking in the door, well, then guess what? That's useless, right? You know? If I don't know the material, there's no reason for me to be doing anything. Yeah, beautiful. Okay. Okay, this will be the last one, and then we're going to go up to the North America Nebula. My favorite place. Well, this is my favorite place too. And I may have to move the telescope dome just a hair that way. I've told you before, I'll say it again, I'm going to change over from a dome to a roll-off roof observatory. So I have not bothered to motorize this dome or make the shutter, which goes up and down to open and close, motorized, because to me that would just be a waste of time and energy and money, because I'm not going to have a dome in Arizona. I'm going to be using this roll-off roof, so it's going to roll on and roll off. So it'll be totally exposed in a minute. James Dugan, how you doing? And people are happy you're here, James. James comes from down under in Australia. And I was telling folks yesterday, and I think the day before, I have a whole bunch of new friends in Australia because there was an entire Australian contingent at the UFO Congress in Phoenix, where I did my talk about where science falls down and where science breaks down from an astronomy point of view, and with an extraterrestrial eye on the entire subject. Okay, so pretty cool. All right, so now, and that's going to lead, by the way, James, to me possibly going to Australia in the coming year. All right, we're heading now to the North America Nebula, where we're going to take a few shots. You'll see the telescope moving here in a second. There it is. It's moving. Okay, and it's rotating in. Okay. And let's make sure that it's where we're about to be. Yeah, the scope is there. Let's confirm that by taking 30 seconds at 16,000 here, but only after we confirm that the telescope is indeed disengaged from automated control. Here we are. Okay, and then we... All right, now let's take that shot. Hey, Papa Tom. Welcome to the chat. Welcome to SkyTour LiveStream. Dagger Spells, you are absolutely right. I believe Pluto was a planet. I've told you the story before. I sat with Clyde Tombaugh. Clyde Tombaugh was the founder of Pluto. I sat with him on a grassy knoll in Vermont, and we talked about Pluto. And that man had such pride at finding Pluto. And, will you look at that. What a beautiful night. This is the Gulf of Mexico, and this is Florida in the North American Nebula. That's exactly where I wanted to be, and I'm going to up the ante now and go to a little bit longer, a little higher exposure. I'm going to go to 20,000 ISO. I can actually go to the bulb setting and then do it for longer, but 30 seconds is about the limit for the telescope because of the way the system is working right now. I can do this without having tracking errors for about 30 seconds, which is very good, even for the main scope. But for a telescope that's a rich field like the one we're using now, it's even better. So we're going to try 30 seconds for 20,000 on this. Oh, and here we go. Is this not perfect music? The Blue Danube Waltz. I loved Carl Sagan. He was my favorite astronomer. I never got to meet Dr. Sagan, but I've met other scientists and people that I respect, but never got to meet him. I wish I had. Wish I had. Okay. Now, what you're seeing here is actually pretty astonishing because we're seeing the contrast of stars that are illuminating and causing this gas to glow, and then there's some dark nebula on this side. You're actually seeing the three-dimensional shape here. of this very voluminous part of the cloud in this location. But I want to get the Pelican Nebula, so I'm going to move the telescope down just a tad. Okay. And move it a little bit west. And let's check that out. What I'm trying to do, so you can see, is I'm trying to bring this guy fully into the picture. See, we're missing the top. I'm trying to bring him down to about here and bring this down to about there. Then we'll see most of the North America Nebula and most of the Pelican. Because that's what that is the Pelican Nebula sitting out there. Oh man, what a night, huh? What a night. I might just be content to let Kevin get eaten by a bear out there. I gotta be careful. I really do, because he's not in an observatory. He's actually out in the front. Okay, what do we got here? Ah, we got the Pelican. Look at that. Maybe just a tiny bit down. Bum, 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 bum. You can't help but sing to this, I'm telling you. And as Daryl has said, and as I have said too in the past, I can't think of anything but the Pan Am Clipper docking with the space station in the movie 2001: A Space Odyssey. And I just love the fact that I work with the man who did the special effects for 2001: A Space Odyssey, Douglas Trumbull. I've been his friend for 6-7 years, and we work together on projects. He's doing a movie right now. I can't tell you what it's about, but I have to get some very high-end electrical equipment to do lightning. So it's going to be kind of fun. Kind of scary, but kind of fun. That's funny, Daryl. If there's no screaming, you're good to go. I like it. Okay, let's go see what we got here. Let's see what we have. It's going to come in here. We're going to see this is going to be down a little bit more. And the Pelican will be in more view. Look at this, Daryl. Isn't this beautiful? I mentioned this to all of you as well, but Daryl especially, because he was commenting and we were talking about this yesterday. There we go. Wow. Wow. There it is. The whole North American Nebula and the Pelican. Okay. From this position, we do a lot of exposures. 30 seconds at 20,000. I can get rid of the noise. Hey, Rockstar. What's going on, man? Good to see you. Thanks for coming out and hanging out with us. I really enjoy the fact that you guys come out and hang out. I just think that it's beautiful. Okay, my conscience has gotten the better of me. I'm gonna go out and check on Kevin. I'll turn up the music here, and I'll leave the live view on here just in case we see some satellites. But basically, this is what we're shooting. We're shooting the North America Nebula and the Pelican Nebula. God, that's beautiful. Whew. I can't get enough of this. Okay, here you are in the live view, and when you see me come back down here, you'll know that I'm back. But I'm going to just check on him. I'll be right back. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask, and I'll look at him when I come back. I need my headlamp. Okay, I'm back, guys. I got lucky. Kevin had to come in to use the bathroom. So let me take another picture while I'm here and jump down. Let me get this going here. All right. Oh, Daryl already left. Okay, good. That's fine. Yeah, Dagger. I scared the old boogers away. Oh my god. I'm just quite astonished. This is beautiful. Oh, God, it's beautiful. How does one not look up? How does one not look up and see this? Yeah, I know Daryl had to go. That's okay. Thanks, Papa Tom. Wow. Just beautiful. I know we're seeing a little blue glow there. That's partly due to LED light, stray light from the new types of streetlights they're using. Luckily, I can get rid of it, and that is actually a good thing. Getting rid of it is, of course, of paramount importance. And it's mostly in the blue wavelengths, so we can dump it as needed. Unfortunately, if we're looking at blue stuff, that becomes a problem. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, yeah. I was just telling people how you were out on the front lawn using your SkyGuider Pro.
Trying.
Yeah. Here. Say hello. This is the camera. Say hello on the camera.
Hello, camera.
No. Hello to everybody watching. We got active people here watching. Yeah, Kevin is working on charging a phone right now.
So I can use mine.
Because he has to use some functionality in the phone for the.
Use my SkyGuide.
Yeah, he has to use SkyGuide. I love it.
I'm inept when it comes to constellations in the sky.
And that's the way it is. You know, that's the way it is with astronomers. You know, they have some strengths. You know, they have certain strengths that, you know, they know about the runaway B stars. They know about supernovae. They understand T Tauri stars. But when it comes to the constellations, even the professors I had throughout school, you ask them, oh, well, what constellation is that? I don't know constellations. I just know right ascension and declination. I know coordinates. They're inept, you know. You know, look at this.
I know when I'm working on stars, I don't know my astrology.
Well, astrology, you better not know. That was a joke.
I just wondering if you caught it.
I caught it. See this? We got the North American and the Pelican. There's the Pelican. There's the North America. I think I am. What did you say?
I can process the shit out of it.
I know you're gonna process. Well, I'm gonna do it too. That's exactly what I'm gonna do is process the. It's a G-rated stream. He's a former Navy guy, so naturally you're gonna hear. Yes. You came in to charge your phone. Yeah, you were coming. Oh, for your cable, you had to get the release.
I know exactly where. Like I said, I gotta get my process down. That includes packing equipment correctly. And
That's right.
and
That's
how to
right.
grab it in the dark.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, we got Cindy Murphy says hi, Kevin. Daggerspell says hi, Kevin. Zoe and Amethyst say hi.
Howdy.
Yeah, and Papa Tom says hi. This is what happens, you know. Everybody wants to, you know, they're interested. They want to know all about what you do and all that. So frankly, it's been quite a fun time here, to be honest. Yeah. So this is our North America with a Gulf here, and then this is. Maybe. Let me.
See, I'm pressing it, aren't I?
No, because I think I can do that here. He's asking for a histogram, and I think I can do that in here. Here, I got it right here.
Oh, yeah, there you go. All right, so you're showing.
See that?
Blue's way up.
Yeah, blue's way up here, obviously.
You're averaging in the center.
Yeah.
With a red stealing on it.
Yeah, and I bring the red up. Within Photoshop,
Yeah.
I bring that red up, and I knock that blue down. I try to get these all lined up pretty much. Yeah.
Cuts it.
Yeah. It's actually, the filter's passing more of the red end of stuff than any other filter I've had. So it's actually bringing in more of the H alpha. Yeah. So this you wouldn't see these peaks here. This is just showing you folks where the data is coming in for the red, green, and blue RGB. But the filter that's on the front is causing the slight blue cast. So we're getting a lot of the blue look, but we're also getting more of this red than well ever before. The previous filter was in the red, like down here. This is massive increase. Yeah, lots of H alpha in there. The H2 region. You can see most of the North America and Pelican, which is really, really cool. So. All right, you're gonna grab your cable. All right. I'll be coming out again here. Maybe. Oh. Why would I come out when I've got you guys here, you know? I feel like it's rude for me to kind of go out and not pay attention to you guys. Yeah, he's allowed to cuss like a sailor because he was one. That's better than my friends that rode on, and were on nukes, the submarines. They're a very different lot. I guess you got to be a different lot to be willing to sit inside of a sewer pipe with end caps at several hundred feet underwater at all times. Yeah. James, I'll pass on your good day to Kevin when he comes back in. He's getting a cable extension for his camera right now so he can operate the camera from a distance. You should see some of his professional stuff. I should actually make sure I get you his website so you can see. Oh, gee, did we have a plane pass through by any chance? Or was that 3 satellites that had 3 different colors? Wow. Yeah. Interestingly enough, it moved so fast that this star, well, you can't really see it. It's just out of your shot. But there's actually a red. See that red light right there? That might be the belly strobe on the plane, and we should see several more. But if it came whipping through, means it's pretty large. So it could have come through with only one hitting, but it only came through the corner of the shot. But this was a 30-second shot, so it could have come through in like just a very small amount of time. And we can quickly see if it belongs elsewhere. And see, it's not in this one. Okay. And it's not in this one. But it is in this one. So this tells me that red light right there is actually the belly strobe on the bottom of the plane. And we don't see the other one. And they go off at 1 second intervals. So it shows us that this plane came through the field in less than 1 second. See? That's how I analyze videos and stuff when people send me these UFO videos. I just take it right apart. And by the way, it was going from top... actually, I can't tell that, actually. Yes, I can. it was going from the top left to the lower right. Okay, because the red light would be on the right-hand side when looking at the direction it was going. If it was going the other way, then the red light would be at the top here, and it's not. Hey, Caltech, what's going on? Nice to see you. Did you find it? Huh? Wait, what'd you say? Oh, that's Gabe. My son's home. Gabe is back from jiu-jitsu and his law school. Okay. Hey, Gabe. Hey, Kevin, look. Check it out. Plane went through. Plane went through and it yeah, I was saying they saw the belly strobe. When you see the belly strobe, the red light, this shows that it went through in less than a second, and that was going from top left to lower right, because that's the only way you'd get the light here. If it was going the other way, the red light would be on this side. You know. Okay. In 7 minutes, it will be 9/19/19 on 9/19/19. Wow. That's true. Why didn't I see that earlier? I could have taken a photo of that. Because for me, it's 10:13 now. Do you realize, Kevin, we missed an hour ago. We missed 9/19/19 on 9/19/19. Yeah. Did you find your cable release?
Yeah.
All right. I just hear you rummaging through a bunch of stuff, so I'm not sure you found it.
Oh, yeah, I found that.
Oh, you're going to switch camera bodies? Oh.
So it even can be more, like it has a little better viewing. Live viewing is even better. It's got less noise.
Yeah. Yeah, 1 second, folks, while I talk to him about this. I had a question about that. Why don't you, did you ever consider, shooting, the Veil yet? Should you shoot the Veil yet?
No, I haven't. Can't see it.
You don't have to.
Look at it very easily.
Well, but
I don't know where to point it.
I show you. Here, look. I'm gonna show you and show everybody. Watch this, okay? So here's our planetarium view, okay? And this is the constellation. This is Cygnus the Swan that we were talking about. This is Deneb, that bright star Deneb I was telling you about.
Where's Andromeda compared to this? Is it anywhere?
Where's what?
Andromeda.
Yeah, for Andromeda you would come down here,
Right.
and
Show me Cassiopeia too.
okay, so this is the Andromeda galaxy right here.
Yeah.
Okay, and then if we move up here, this is Cassiopeia. See the W?
Yep. Yeah,
Okay.
the orientation is off. Okay.
Well, yeah, but this is the telescope. How the telescope sees it.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, and the moon, and you notice the moon is rising down here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we probably can't see that. But I got to the North America Nebula with room to spare, so luckily. So if we come back to Cygnus the Swan, you look overhead, it's a little past the zenith right now. Okay, but here's Vega, the bright one. Then here is, let me turn off stuff here. Okay, this is the Northern Cross. Okay, right here. Right there. Now, the Veil is right here. So when you see Deneb, and you look at Deneb in the sky, you're gonna go to this star. You're gonna go down to the center and then over to this star, and right off of that star is the Veil. And I think your field of view is gonna probably be about like this. perfect.
Too.
Huh?
At 500 or 2?
At 500, I think you're going to be right about like this. Because I'm at 600. I'm at 600, and I'm like this. So you're gonna be like this. You're gonna be just a little bigger. I think it's gonna be beautiful. You might as well do the shots before the moon comes up, because the moon's gonna blow it out. Yeah, and they gotta change your batteries. Yeah. All right. All right. All right. Kevin will be back a little later. He'll be out on the front area with the observatory. He's going to be playing with this SkyGuider Pro, trying to get some gorgeous shots. He's been doing the Andromeda Galaxy and doing some beautiful shots of the Andromeda Galaxy. And when I say beautiful shots, he's a professional photographer as well as being... he's actually an amateur astronomer, but he really understands his stuff. A pleasure to be talking to. Cindy Murphy, Aquila is actually a constellation in itself, as is Cassiopeia. So let me actually show you the answer to that question, because it's better. A picture's worth 1,000 words, right? Okay, so we zoom out here, okay, and these are our constellations, and we're looking right now here where it says scope. This is almost directly overhead. This is Cygnus the Swan, this is Lyra the Harp, and this is Aquila the Eagle. Now in mythology, this is what we show. Okay, we show the imagery like this. Here's Cygnus the Swan. Here is the harp right next to it. And then down below, this is Vulpecula. And then down here, we have Aquila the Eagle. Cassiopeia is another constellation, which is actually more northward, right? And this is Cassiopeia over here. Let me... I don't like looking at the mythology. I'd rather see the stars. Okay, yeah. Right here is Cassiopeia. Here's the W of Cassiopeia. Okay? And that's this. Cassiopeia in her chair. Okay, now where's that in relation to everything else? Well, Cassiopeia is toward the North Star, which is over there. And over here is the Northern Cross. And the Milky Way goes coursing this way to the right, goes all the way down to the south, okay, into Sagittarius, which is nearly set now. And it comes up north. The Milky Way comes up north through Cygnus and through Cassiopeia. And then it'll go down through Perseus and through Orion. And there's the Pleiades coming up now. Right there. Okay. So, that's where Cassiopeia is relative to everything else. That's the Andromeda Galaxy you're looking at right there. Which is what Kevin's working on right now. Okay, so now we go back to our scope. The view is going to get progressively worse here. And we're going to be stopping the research side of tonight in a little while, because the moon will make it too bad for us to view. Not good enough. I can get rid of moon glow, but I think it's important to make sure that we stop taking pictures anyway as we get more of the moon up, because I won't combine those into finished frames. I'd love for the moon to go away, but then we'd lose tides and I don't know. Hey KDQ, yeah, I've looked at the Pleiades and done an image of the Pleiades, and let me actually, while this exposure is doing its thing, I'll take one right now, another exposure, and while it's doing that, I'll go over here, but I'm also going to show you. I'm going to show you my. I'm going to show you the Pleiades, the photo that we took actually. So let's go and do this. Let's see. This PCEE. I'll be right there with you in a second, guys. I want to thank you guys for coming out tonight, by the way. It's like going to the movies with a bunch of friends. And I really enjoy the fact that you guys like to learn about astronomy. I know that I'm not like the be-all, end-all, of course, in astronomy. I'm just one of many people that do this. But I will say this. I do have the patience for all the many questions you may wish to ask. And that's a good thing, right? Yeah, I think it is. Okay, let's see now. All right, hang on. I'm just looking for... There we go. We got that. And pictures. Okay, here we go. So now I can show you... I want to show you my pictures that you want to see of the Pleiades, so you can see how they look. Let's do this. Meanwhile, I also have to get back and take another photo. Okay, that's coming out okay, good. Now we go back to where I was looking for this. Okay. All right, this is an example of a little bit of the Pleiades that I took here, which I think you'll like. Let's go here. This is the Pleiades here. This is a shot of the stars. This is called the brushed. It looks brushed. Okay, it's beautiful detail in the Pleiades. This is these hot blue stars are going through this region of space where there happens to be dust, and so this dust is being illuminated by the starlight. But not just illuminated, it's actually, the dust is doing something to the bright blue starlight. It's actually scattering it. All right, here's another view, okay? This is the Pleiades. Now, the stars are bloated or out of proportion, but you can see this nebula is actually this nebula right here, okay? And if you notice this nebula right here near the top, this nebula is this nebula, okay? So I did it that way, and this is the North American nebula from the last time. Isn't that stunning? That's the part we're actually looking at right now, by the way. So just keep in mind that when we look at this, all right, that this comes from this. Let me just do it right here. Show you. Okay, this that we see right here, this becomes this, which I'll show you. This becomes that. Okay, when I'm done. But we now have the Pelican Nebula in here also, which is not in this view. Very, very nice. So, okay. Well, that said, we are back now to our other view here. We're going to take more shots. See, this is the Pelican here, and this is the entire North America nebula here. Yeah, the Pleiades are beautiful, you know. They're hot blue stars, B-type stars. And the scale, of course, that, as you heard from Amanda, as I tell you often, is OBAFGKM. I think that one of the things that we want to talk about is the fact that these hot blue stars are really too hot to support life on any planets that may form around them. I mean, we've found planets around some of the higher B stars, and what does that mean? It means that the stars are ranked, B0 through 9, where B0 is hotter than a B9. Okay, and that we've seen planets around B8s and things like that, but they have so much ultraviolet radiation that there's really no way that they can support life, unfortunately. So when people tell you, and I'm not trying to disparage people, but when people tell you that they're, that Pleiadians are here from the Pleiades, it's almost embarrassing to hear them say that, because there's no way that life could be supported on the Pleiades. And I saw one conference that went so far as to, a guy showed up that had blue skin, and it was actually because he had colloidal silver disease, not disease, but it basically had too much colloidal silver, the health thing. And they said he was from the Pleiades because he was blue. I mean, that kind of ignorance is just not tolerable, I mean, you gotta, he actually had a disease, a well-known disease. And to say that he was an alien from the Pleiades was kind of an insulting and degrading comment, to call him out and make him the subject of horrible attention. So, that said, I really didn't appreciate those comments from these folks. But, I think that that people come in all types, don't they? So, we shall see. Yeah, so this is beautiful. There's that one. Now let's come in and we can do it again. When I start to see a change in the brightness, we'll work on it. I'll start to say maybe we'll do something else. Actually, Maddie, people take colloidal silver because it's for health. They think it's a health thing. And that's okay, but I don't know whether he actually recovered per se, or whether he actually died. Because I know that there was a famous guy with blue skin. You look him up online, and they called him Papa Smurf. And and it turns out that he died, and not because of the colloidal silver, I don't think, but for other reasons. And unfortunately, Papa Smurf was someone who kind of enjoyed his fame as a blue-skinned human, but it was just colloidal silver poisoning, basically. And we see that, and we've seen that in other folks as well, Okay, these stars are just a little elongated, so this will be a throwaway image, one we will throw away. So let me go back here and go here, and let's just do a little jog to help realign. Okay, let's do it again. Yeah, you're right, Papa Smurf, Daniel, yep. If you look him up, you'll see, he did just die in the last year or two. Yeah, if you look him up, he did. Unfortunately, he passed away. And the colloidal silver poisoning is somewhat common when people do colloidal silver. They sometimes tend to overdo it, and maybe he did. I don't know. I don't know why he died. But we can find that out. We'll know. That's a beautiful image. Other than, okay, let me just do this. I was trying to find this for you so you can see it on this gentleman. Okay. Hang on a second, guys. I'm just trying to show you something. Okay, going there. All right. And now I don't know, D. I don't know if there's different kinds of blue people. That's kind of funny. It kind of reminds me of that Star Trek movie where I think it was Kirk says to Scotty, "We have to find the humpbacks, Scotty." And Scotty says, "Humpback people?" "No, whales, Scotty, whales. We have to find the humpback whales, Scotty." "Oh, I saw it." Really funny stuff. Yeah, Blue Man Group. I know Blue Man Group quite well. The guy that founded Blue Man Group is a guy named Chris Wink. And Chris was my drum teacher for 3.5 years. Before he started Blue Man Group. So I always knew that he had something coming that was pretty wild. And he was committed, let me tell you. Really good. But I wanted to do astronomy. I didn't want to do the music side. But I've created Blue Man instruments. I've created, done a lot of drumming. And I really like Australian primal rhythms as well. Thanks, Justin. And I spent a lot of time building didgeridoos as well. And I've been playing the didgeridoo for many years, over a decade. I make them for people. I give them away. I don't make people buy them. And I teach people how to make didgeridoos. It's really fun. And you can end up being a little tribal yourself and learn how to do the vocalizations and the things that come along with didgeridooing. And we've talked, James Dugan and I have sort of commented back and forth on some of this because he's being from Australia. He's aware more so than most people in America that the didgeridoo is a Aborigine indigenous instrument. And it has been used in the past, and the history is being used to tell stories in the dream time, and that's that's what I've been good at, is telling stories in the dream time. That way, I'll say one thing: I do know that there have been a lot of animals that have been attracted to the didgeridoo when I played it. I was playing it on my front porch like after midnight one night. And I wasn't playing too loud. I was playing nice and soft, and just playing a little drone for myself. And the strangest thing happened. I found that animals came up on the deck where I was playing, raccoons actually, 2 raccoons came up and they sat there and were listening to me. I was like, wow. And by the way, this is Papa Smurf. Before and after. Yes, that's really his skin. This is what he looked like before and then after, and that's crazy, you know. There's a lot of good pictures of him out there though. But see, colloidal silver, once this happens to you, yeah, don't be looking to, no getting back from that really, unfortunately. So let's bring this up here. Hey. Sorry, I had the camera angled the wrong way. Not that you care. That's right. Yeah, folks are aware, Ronald, that we're talking about colloidal silver poisoning. Yeah, that photo wasn't really good of him. There's other photos that show his condition far better, if you want to call it better. Let me see if I can locate that, because there's a better view. I mean, he's a pretty famous guy, you know. They actually he had a lot more than 15 minutes of fame, you know. Okay, the moonlight's not interfering with us too badly, so I'm gonna keep on going here. Meanwhile, let me pull up this guy here again. Okay. Alright, so this is another view of Papa Smurf. Look at that. I mean, that's blue skin, man. You can't deny that. He might have made money. I don't know. I just know that he's unfortunately he died. And I don't know what he died of. I don't know if it was true colloidal silver poisoning or what. But he died. Okay, I believe we're getting a little... we still have some more to go here. We're okay. We're okay at the moment. And so... Okay. Telescope's doing okay. Yeah, unfortunately, you know, there was an infamous conference where a colloidal silver poisoning victim showed up to actually just attend the conference. And they made him like the subject of posts and photos that, you know, made him feel totally unwelcome, because they tried to say he was from the Pleiades. Okay, true morons at best, you know, trying to make these claims. And I lambasted the conference organizer and said to her, this is unacceptable. This man has colloidal silver poisoning. It's a well-known condition, and had you even done your homework to look it up, you would have found that this is what was going on. And they said, oh, he was speaking a different language, which could only be, you know, a language that's not of this world. Yeah, because Hungarian is not of this world, you see. So, gosh. Well, I don't know. I think weird guy. He probably it was probably a Vulcan. You know, if he bled green blood, right? I know you've heard it before. I don't know. I don't know what the answer to that question is. What could that be? Green blood? I mean, that's... Venus blood is green because the blood is... it doesn't have... it's not oxygenated. And the vessel walls are relatively clearish to somewhat green. And it could be like... it could be the... upon contact with the air, it turns green. I'm sorry, it becomes red almost immediately. If I miss my guess, the moon is up, yet I see more detail in this than less. So I think we're in pretty good shape here. Yeah, right, Katie? Well, that's the whole point. People from the Pleiades would not have blue skin. That's entirely the opposite of what you would expect. Okay, if anything, they would actually probably develop a shiny skin to reflect the light, if they could exist at all. But what's the blue indicate? The blue indicates the light coming to you is blue. So they theoretically, they suppose that, oh, well, he has blue skin because he's reflecting blue light. Because if he was absorbing blue light, then his skin wouldn't be blue. Because we see it as blue, it's reflecting the light. And that's true. But it would be also taking the hit from the ultraviolet energy. And that tends to burn skin. Green blood does not sound healthy, Maddie. You're right. I am now and forever shall be your friend. Thank you, Spock. I am touched. Captain, the Romulans are hailing us. Tell them to pound sand, Scotty. Captain says pound sand. They're charging phasers. Let's get the heck out of here, Scotty. Or we're fired. Okay. So this is beautiful. And like I said, this blue is going to go away when I'm done. I'm going to take care of getting rid of all that. And we're going to catch this in the Pelican. It's going to be a really pretty scene. I'm actually quite amazed that you guys aren't bored yet, because I know I'm taking the same picture over and over. But there is an awful lot to see. Well, thanks, guys. I think all you have to do is study William Shatner's cadence. See, talking like me, if I just talk like me and say, well, you must talk like Captain Kirk this way. You understand this is how you do it. I mean, that kind of thing, Then you add a little bit of that nasal part to make it into the William Shatner that you know and love. It's like, you understand that this is how you do it. Scotty, you've got to get us out of here. If you can't get us out of here, Scotty, you're fired. I said it. I understand. That kind of thing. What else do you think I do in the dark here? Well, in the red light. It's very entertaining. I'm an entertainer, let's be honest. I mean, when I do talks around the country, I either start off with doing a magic trick to illustrate some points, or I unroll a roll of toilet paper in which I've put the entire history of the Earth and wrap up my audience in toilet paper and show them the history of the Earth. And I think you have to do different things. You have to do it a different way that pushes their limits too, the limits of the audience in terms of what their expectations are. Because an audience doesn't know what to expect from the guy who comes out on the stage, you know. But I can tell you this, and I'm humbled, when people hear that I'm talking somewhere, they tend to come out of the woodwork to come see it, because they know it's going to be an interesting talk. And I'm pleased. I'm very happy that they come see it. But it does put some pressure on me, guys. You know, I mean, I have to now deliver, you know. And so, you know, I'll go in and I'll do a little Shatner, I'll do Scotty, I'll do some other things during the talk. I'll do Carl Sagan. We see billions and billions of stars in the universe, you know, and tell this to people, you know, because Carl Sagan was one of my favorite astronomers, obviously. And there's a talk I do where I talk about what he says about our planet. He says, we are a pale blue dot. And that's true. We're just a pale blue dot. But we're a pale blue dot with an oxygen atmosphere. And we've been broadcasting the fact that we have an oxygen atmosphere for 2.7 billion years. Okay? And that's how long ago it was when the oxygen atmosphere built up on the Earth. And that's, unfortunately, if you talk to Stephen Hawking, he'd say, you know, he did say, actually, we should not broadcast our presence, you know, because we're nowhere near being able to protect ourselves. Well, the answer is we have been broadcasting our presence for 2.7 billion years. The oxygen signature in our atmosphere moves out at the speed of light, and it's moving out at the speed of light, and it's gone 2.7 billion light years in a universe that's just over 93 billion light years in diameter. So we've actually reached a fair amount of the universe already, just passively with the signal of our oxygen atmosphere. You know what I mean? So that's pretty impressive. And so any civilization within that, hey, Deb, how you doing? Thanks for coming out. Any civilization that's been able to, you know, think as we do and say, hey, let's look for an oxygenated atmosphere, and we know there'll be carbon-based life there possibly. We'll have already done this view, and we'll have looked for oxygen. And we're 5,000 years into our written history, if you go back to Sumeria. And from that point of view forward, we've already found ways to go interstellar that we're working on. We've already found ways to beat the speed of light. In fact, so when you think about it, we're actually a fledgling species in the universe. We started 4.6 billion years ago when Earth was formed, but the universe had already existed over 9 billion years before we even arrived. So the truth of the matter is that there could have been civilizations that had already developed long ago and found this planet before it was even a fully formed planet. Maybe they found it when it was still dust ring around the sun. In the same way that we're seeing planets in their infancy now, they might have found us in the past at some point or another in our development. Anywhere along that history of the Earth that I mentioned earlier, the one that I entertainingly put on a roll of toilet paper, anywhere along that toilet paper, they could have found us. Anywhere. And it's pretty fascinating that to think about that. You know, I think that they certainly have found us. I certainly think there could have been a way, if they didn't already, find a way to come here. I think there are ways. It makes perfect sense to me, not to my academic colleagues. They don't buy into it the way I do, but I think they have their tenure to worry about. But nowadays, this is the thing that's interesting, guys. Nowadays, if you say that you don't believe that there's alien life out there, that is a tenure damaging statement, because nearly all of science agrees that there is alien life out there. What they don't agree on is, one, whether it's intelligent, and two, whether that life could have reached us here. But to say there's no life elsewhere is you'll lose your tenure for that. Whereas if you said that 35 years ago, you'd lose your tenure for saying there's life elsewhere in your mind. You see what I mean? Slowly but surely, the arrogance of science falls in the way of fact. And I believe that this is where we're heading. We're heading down that path toward disclosure in the unidentified flying object world. And we're actually finding our way and seeing our way clear to becoming citizens of the universe with other citizens who are out there already. And, yes, we might not be as intelligent as other species, but other species know we're intelligent. And they would treat us in the same way that we treat a puppy dog, perhaps. Nurture them, care for them, watch them grow, help them along, maybe. But I don't think they're going to see us as ants to step on. Because if you've gone interstellar, if you've made your way interstellar, you've probably been through that already. You've been through the arrogant phase of your civilization that almost destroyed you. You've probably already been there. So that said, I would guess that an advanced civilization coming here would be more of the nurturing kind rather than the mercenary, territorial, militaristic kind. That's stuff that I think would evolve out of a civilization. I think it would evolve out of their behavior profile and probably be something from their distant past. We just don't think of it that way because it's not out of our present. It has to get out of our present before we can say it's in our past. And it's not. We're not even a cohesive world society. We're separate countries, which is fine. But separate countries that speak different languages, that have different goals, different ways they treat their people, different views on human rights, etc., etc. But a civilization that makes its way to the stars is going to be a civilization for everybody on that planet, not just the group that's in a democratic republic like the United States. Okay? Not just those that are rich and wealthy like the U.S. and England and Japan. I mean, it's not just for those countries to reach the stars. It's for everybody because everybody's going to have to go. So I think, and I'm not lecturing, don't get me wrong here, but I do believe that one of you made me go down this path, so whoever it was, it's your fault. And I do think that we're going to reach that galactic status someday. I really do. We're not there yet, but we're going to reach that status. Because we're not owed that, but if we can humbly request a seat at the table someday, then that'll be good enough for me. Dagger Spells, I know that movie. Darn it all, what was that? I remember that. It was us in the future. Yeah. I don't remember. I'll tell you one thing. I think it was either Outer Limits, or Twilight Zone. But the title, and you know this, those of you out there will know this, and you'll want to say, oh, I know that. The title of the episode was To Serve Man. And these aliens came to Earth and said that they want to serve mankind. And so they were giving us new technology and increasing our science and wanted nothing in return. It was incredible. Then they offered to take humans to their world. And meanwhile, people were trying to translate the book called To Serve Man, which was this big book that they gave us. And finally, one guy translated it. And he's running to the ship as people are filing onto the ship to go to this new planet. And he's saying, no, it's not a book to help us. It's a cookbook. It was a cookbook about serving man on the dinner table. I thought that was a really, really good episode. Because he's trying to break through holding the book. And it's a big fat book. And it was recipes in alien language. Recipes for humans. Oh, yeah. It's a cookbook. That's right, Karen. Welcome, Karen Belmont. Very funny. Okay, we're still getting good response here. Gosh, I've only looked at 2 objects tonight, but you know what? They've been so spectacular. I just haven't been able to get off of them. By the way, I just tell you, there's a TV series that I didn't think I would get into, but I did like the original movie, even though it was sort of an older, old school type process that was used to make it. And that movie originally was from 1986. It was called The Dark Crystal, and it had Skeksis, and it had other creatures in there, podlings, and other creatures, and then I forget the others that were there. But there's actually a TV series now that's on, and it's called The Dark Crystal, and it's got some other Dark Crystal, The Revolution, or something like that. And it's actually pretty cool. They're staying to the original script for the world of Thra, which is where these creatures were from. Pretty neat. Yep. Yeah, Soylent Green is people. Remember that? Yeah, same type of thing. Soylent Green is people. Yeah, Charlton Heston could never get it out there because people tried to kill him. Hey, Leslie Latin, how are you? Leslie Latin Taylor. Oh, you're in Dallas, Fort Worth. Wonderful. I just flew through there. Oh, Twilight Zone. Thank you. I thought it was Outer Limits or Twilight Zone, but it was really good. It's a cookbook. It's like, what in the heck? Fine, I'm going to be cooked up. Yeah, it's a Netflix series. That's right, Leslie. The new Dark Crystal series. And it's actually quite good. I own a visual effects company, and so when I look at the puppet visual effects that I'm watching there, I see a little CG, but not much. Most of it are puppets that are operated by 2 operators. Okay, each character has 2 credits, one for each operator, and it's really quite cool. And the Striders are really cool creatures. I really thought those were neat creatures. Okay, I'm going to take one exposure here and then come back. I'm going to leave it. Hopefully it'll stay on this. It may go to that there. I don't want it to go there. I want it to stay here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to run out and see how Kevin's doing. Make sure there's not fighting off a bear and screaming for help and I can't hear him because I'm got my headphones on talking to you. And I'll check in with him and I'll be right back to you in a few minutes, okay? So hang on and hang loose. I shall return and I'll check in. So, okay, there we go. That's the one shot. All right, I'll be right back, guys. And I'll take my phone as always because in case there's an emergency, I gotta call somebody. Ghostbusters. I'll be back. Now you're gonna have to wipe this off right away. You got that? Yeah, I'll do that for you. Do your camera.
Yeah. Camera should be okay. Everything's sealed.
Yeah,
But why take a chance? As far as I'm concerned.
Okay, we're back in, but I have to we're wiping all the dew off of the computer and other components that Kevin was using outside. So we'll be back to you in a bit.
Now for this commercial break.
No, we have a wonderful active chat group. These people are just wonderful.
Does anybody belong to the Facebook?
Yeah,
Facebook
most of them.
Astronomy's for beginners. Astronomy for beginners.
Most of them are on our SkyTour LiveStream Facebook site. You know.
Yeah.
And you check it out, which I put everything up there.
Gotta find it.
Well, you can't miss it. It's SkyTour LiveStream with
Sky through light.
SkyTour LiveStream. Right. Yeah.
Let's see. I've got this towel I'll put over.
Tagger, you're so funny. Okay, Kevin's going out to put a cover over the tracker mount that's outside. Alright, I apologize for this being the same view for a while. I think I've taken quite a few. I'll take one more shot, and then we will go look for something else. Take 50 million shots of that. No. Let's see here. Here it's 11 o'clock, which is fine. I'm not worried. We've been going for just over 2 hours. We did this nebula yesterday, the Gamma Cygni Nebula. We're not going to do that again tonight. The moon is up pretty high right now. I do want to do my favorite double star that I've told you before, but I'm not going to do that. Let's turn on the functions here. We can see. You all set there, Kevin, outside? You got the cover over it?
Yeah, I put a towel over it.
Okay, good. That's more than enough that you'll need. What's that? Oh, yeah. You know, that's half the fun, you know, and this goes to everyone listening. That's half the fun when you take a bunch of shots in your camera and you're all done for the night. You say, oh, I got to go in for the night. But then you have the most fun in the world. That's going through the camera to see everything you caught. It's really cool. And tonight was the first night that Kevin's used his Sky Guider, so this is going to be interesting to see what he comes up with.
All the times I didn't turn on this thing, let's see the star trails.
Oh, did you actually do that?
Yeah.
Okay, so he did.
Some with and without it just to see how much
Sure.
trail I would get to get it before and what it does with the tracker.
That's a good idea. See,
Just to see.
he's thinking. What he did was he turned the tracker off and did some shots, magnified shots, highly magnified shots at 500 millimeters or so, and then proceeded to do shots with the tracker on, so you could see with the tracking and without the tracking, just so you could see how well it was performing and what it was actually, preventing. Not a bad thing. That's a very smart thing to do. I only have smart friends.
I'm kind of a smart son.
I only have smart friends. I are smart. I are smart. I got me smart friends. Which way did he go? Which way did he go? Where's the little bunny rabbit I saw? Which way did he go? Hi, George. Who remembers that? Aye. All right. I'm not sure if this will be there, but we can try. Let's try and go with the dumbbell. And we're on our way now. And telescope is moving. And you can see stars. All right. Let's go into 4K mode quickly. And oh, look at that. There it is. You got the rings on Saturn? We said rings. What we?
I mean the density, the Andromeda.
Oh yeah, you can see the dark lanes in Andromeda. Yeah. Okay. There we go. So let's just do this. Let's center the dumbbell nebula a little bit better. Again, we're looking at it from the wide field, not the main scope tonight. And we'll just jog a bit. All right. Now we're going to go out of sorry. All right. So we're turning off this. Turning off that, and we'll do 20,000 at 30 seconds. Why? I don't know. I'm a glutton for punishment. I just want to see what I'll get. We're going to just go eastward with this a little bit. Okay. And we're going to come back to the west. We're going to... This coming back to the west actually accounts for something called backlash. I don't have to do that. But I do it anyway to just protect the exposure, make sure it's going to be a good exposure. So here you can actually see, as for those of you that have been watching the North America, here's the Mexico section, all of North America, Florida, the kind of look here. And then this is the Pelican Nebula. And last night we only focused on this section. Now we got all of it overall. So this is going to be kind of cool to check out. And this exposure is still going, so here we go. Let's see what we get now. Wow, look at that, huh? The little dumbbell sit right out there in the middle, and at 30 seconds, okay, the dumbbell is literally overexposed, guys. Overexposed. I've gone too long. That's crazy. This is a G-rated stream, Kevin. No Navy language here. So I'm gonna drop this down. We're gonna come down to let's drop this down to 10,000 for 30 seconds and see if we get a little better shot. This will be better. We're literally dropping 3 stops or so. So in photography, it means we're cutting out light getting in. So by reducing sensitivity. Hey Montana, how you doing? Are you talking about Fringe? I watched Fringe. Fringe was a great show. I like Walter. Hang on, I gotta go see what he saw.
No, it's a silly shot. It's one of those silly shots to zoom.
Those are cool.
Just...
Kevin did what we call the warp drive shot. He actually, pulled the telephoto or turned the telephoto to make it go out as he was taking a shot. So you get an image of the object you're looking at, and then all of course the stars are then streaked all around it, and it's really kind of a cool shot. It sucks you right in. It feels like you're moving. That's good, Montana. Yeah, I still went too long. Okay, let's see here. Okay, telescope is in good shape. And let's drop down now to 6,400 at 30 seconds. Actually, I'm going to go to 20 seconds and go back up. No, you know what? Why not? Let's do 6,400 for 20 seconds and see what we get, huh? The dumbbell nebula is reasonably bright, and it's amazing to think that you could overexpose an object that you almost have to look away from in a telescope to see if it's actually there. But with this particular telescopic equipment that we use, it's very sensitive. Yeah, see, that's more like it. And as you can see, it's still it's very small. We wouldn't be stacking this or doing anything with this. This is a main instrument object anyway. But let's take a look where we could go next. I know you're tempted to go to the ring, but I don't want to go to the ring right now because it's going to be really tiny and almost impossible to see. But we can actually look at stuff that's out in this direction because that's the way the dome is facing right now. Okay. This is kind of low, but let me see if we can actually get to it. I'm not sure we can see the wild duck right now, but we're going to try it anyway. Off we go into the wild duck yonder. Oh yeah, see the red? Know what that is? That's the dome in the way. So that's not going to work. And I don't want to go out and move the dome right now. But I bet you. Let's see if the little gem is available to us. Okay, we're going to move over now. Okay, just going to do this. And now we can move over to the little gem. Oh, well, I could move over to the little gem if I was there. There we go. We still have dome. Oh well, that's okay. I'm trying to see, okay, which way the shutter is facing. It's facing... I know it's facing that. Oh, I get it. I went too far over. I think I probably could see... let me see if I can see the Tweedledum. Because that might... I'm trying to figure out which way the dome shutter is facing. As I said, I haven't motorized that because I'm going to be using something very different in the future. I'm not going to be using that at all. Okay, so we're going to see if we can go over to this. I think that's the direction that the dome would be facing. And we're going to find out. Yeah. That's correct. And there's the Tweedledum cluster right there. Bippity bop bop cluster. All right. So we're going to kill that, bring it up. And the moon is up right now. So we're going to halt the stream for tonight because we've already done a number of shots. I will prepare these shots for you by tomorrow. You'll actually see these on the SkyTour LiveStream Facebook site. Please do check them out because I know you'll enjoy them a lot. Meanwhile, let's see what the Tweedledum cluster looks like. And to you guys talking about Fringe, I really like that show, like I said. And I thought that I thought that the movie really had the series had a lot of depth to it. You know? Oh, darn it all. There's just a little dome action. I'm such a domey. Yeah. All right, well, that's no problem. We've got major do issues anyway. We're letting some of the equipment de-do in here. So we will basically come back at another night. And I just want to thank you all for your attention and for your wonderful commentaries. I'm so happy that all of you have chosen to hang out with us at SkyTour LiveStream. Because for us, it's a magical place. magical time and a lot of fun. I really enjoy the fact that you're here. So I will sign off with you, and hopefully we'll be able to pick this up again on the next clear night. And I'm going to do some cleanup stuff in the observatory right now. But until the next time, I hope you guys have a good night. And I want to thank you for coming out tonight. I really enjoyed your company. I wasn't sure if I was going to get to talk a lot on mic tonight with Kevin here, because he had his astronomy work he's doing. But he needed time to focus on getting his Sky Guider going. And focus on focusing as well. And he's quite focused about that. He's a sharp guy. Oh, yeah. Yes, and it's critical. Yeah, this is the this is the pun channel. Yeah. Didgeridoo. Hey, I like that. Very good, Joanna. Thank you. All right, guys. You have a good evening. And I shall talk to you the very next time. If it's clear tomorrow, you know where to find me. Until then, keep looking up, and I'll see you soon out there in the cosmic world. Bye-bye.